Iran-Israel war live updates. Israel launched a counterattack and an explosion occurred in a major Iranian city. Israel launched missiles towards Iran early Friday morning neighborhood time, the primary retaliatory strike following an Iranian missile and drone assault on Israeli soil remaining weekend, U.S. officers instructed CBS and ABC information. It's unclear how many, if any, reached Iran and how powerful they may have been on effect. The USA's anti-missile defenses had been activated early Friday close to the town of Isfahan, consistent with the Iranian state-run IRNA information enterprise. Isfahan is the country's one-third maximum populous metropolis and the website of a nuclear technology middle, and one of its largest army bases. CNN stated that two U.S. officials said Israel became not targeting nuclear centers or civilian targets. The Israeli Defense Forces did no longer at once touch upon the attack. An aide to Israeli top minister Benjamin Netanyahu declined to remark to Axios. Iran introduced that every one industrial flights in Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz, and lots of the West valuable place of the United States of America have been grounded, according to the AP. Separate pictures appeared to reveal Tehran's airport pronouncing over an intercom that all flights had been cancelled. Iranian state television reported there was a loud sound heard in Iran's Isfahan province, suggesting as a minimum one projectile may have penetrated air protection structures. The Iranian state-affiliated media shops Tasnim and Fars said that the nuclear facility in Isfahan become absolutely relaxed. The Iranian Modern Protect Corps additionally launched photos that appeared to expose the USA's air defenses intercepting missiles. State media in Iran have performed down the assault, announcing the moves have been constrained to drones that did not penetrate its air defense systems. An Iranian professional advised Reuters that explosion-like sounds heard in Isfahan have been an end result of the activation of air protection systems, and that no missiles had struck the city. What's becoming clear at this factor is that the Iranians are downplaying this extensively. Trita Parsi, the co-founder and executive vice president of the Quincy Institute for Accountable Statecraft, stated in a past night interview on CNN. If that is a manner for the Iranians to essentially wave this off, as if nothing passed off, and forestall the escalatory cycle, then I suppose maximum of the nations in the area and the arena will welcome that. Ian Bremmer, a political scientist and founding father of the political chance research and consulting company Eurasia Institution, went as far as to call the Israeli strike a de-escalatory in a post on X rapidly after news of the movement broke. Israeli strike in opposition to Iran is de-escalatory, he wrote. Needed to take a few sort of movement. Restricted compared to assaults on Damascus that precipitated the disaster. The Israeli Navy said on Monday that it deliberate to retaliate towards Iran, but provided no information on what that attack might entail. Reports advised it can attack Iranian centers or encompass cyber attacks, a good way to avoid civilian casualties. Bloomberg Information reported that Israeli officials alerted the U.S. on Thursday morning that it planned to strike Iran in the subsequent 24 to 48 hours. The assault comes 2 weeks after Tehran vowed to punish Israel for the assassination of a top commander at an Iranian assignment on April 1. Iran then released a barrage of over 300 munitions against Israel on April 13, the general public of which had been thwarted by way of Israeli and American anti-missile structures. The U.S. had urged Israel no longer to reply to Iran's assault. CNN pronounced Thursday the white residents did not green-mild an Israeli reaction when approached about it. Earlier Thursday, Iran stated it became considering a change to its nuclear doctrine, threatening a potential damage from the publicly said peaceful targets of its nuclear program. The threats of the Zionist regime, Israel, towards Iran's nuclear centers make it possible to study our nuclear doctrine and deviate from our previous considerations, stated Ahmad Hotalab, a top Iranian Innovative Guards commander, consistent with Tasnim. If the Zionist regime desires to take movement in opposition to our nuclear facilities and centers, we can truly and categorically reciprocate with superior missiles against their own nuclear websites, Hotalab stated, including the era of hit and run is over. The Israeli attack comes as pinnacle U.S. officers and other allies had been in search of to mood tensions behind the curtain, urging Israel towards escalatory responses. Iranian officials have formerly stated that any Israeli retaliation against the country would result in an intense reaction from Tehran, but there was no indication of a right-away response by way of Iran after the modern-day strike. If the Zionist regime, Israel, or its supporters demonstrate reckless behavior, they may get hold of a decisive and much stronger reaction, Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi said in a preceding announcement. Donald Trump blames Biden for Hamas attacking Israel. Donald Trump blamed President Joe Biden for Hamas' assault on Israel on Saturday, claiming the long-simmering Israeli-Palestinian struggle erupted into new violence because Biden is perceived as susceptible. It became a large attack with quite a few dead humans all over the area, Trump advised an target audience at a Waterloo, Iowa rally. Who could suppose that? And the handiest distinction, I believe, is the distinction among one president and some other president. The attack has ended in greater than 100 human beings dead in Israel and 232 people lifeless in Gaza, according to Israeli and Palestinian officers on Saturday afternoon. Hundreds extra are wounded, and Hamas combatants have taken an unknown wide variety of humans hostage. At the Iowa rally, Trump claimed a series of geopolitical conflicts would not have took place had he remained president. They didn't have that degree of aggression with me, he stated. They didn't have it. This would have never passed off with me. You know what wouldn't have passed off? Ukraine wouldn't have happened. Taiwan and all this difficult talk with Taiwan wouldn't have came about. It's hardly an ancient claim. Russian forces were encroaching on Ukrainian territory in Crimea on the grounds that as a minimum 2014. China's territorial aims in Taiwan date again decades, and violent conflicts between Israel and Palestine are even older. The Nakba, which noticed a few 700,000 Palestinians expelled from the area, came about 75 years in the past. This could